Welcome to the South Florida Hospital News CEO video series. During the next few months, we'll be conducting interviews with hospital and healthcare leadership in South Florida. Today, we welcome Heather Havericak from Broward Health Medical Center. Heather, thank you for taking the time today out of your busy day to be with us.
Thank you, Charles. I'm excited to be here with you guys.
Can you tell us your position at Broward Health today?
Sure. So I am the Chief Executive Officer here at Broward Health Medical Center and Sala Foundation Children's Hospital.
Tell us a little bit about the difference in the Children's Hospital too.
Our children's hospital has 125 beds. So it's a children's hospital within the larger medical center. We have a neonatal intensive care unit, an inpatient pediatric hematology oncology unit, inpatient peds, and then inpatient pediatric intensive care as well. And then we do have a separate pediatric emergency department for the patients.
So tell us a little bit about your family, if you would.
I am married. My husband, Scott Havericak, is in commercial real estate in South Florida, and we have two children. We have Owen, who is 12, and Nora, who is 11.
What about education? For those who are listening, we kind of go through this each time to find out how people began their career and their education, in their education background.
When I originally went to college, I was going to be an elementary education teacher, and I quickly realized that that was not really the career path for me. So I did shift and I did an associate's degree in nursing, which I did back in Illinois. And then I did a bachelor's of science in nursing when I was already a nurse at Florida International University. And then I went back to school for a master's of science in nursing administration. And I did that at Indiana State University.
Tell us, how you started off. What was that aha moment that said, I want to be in healthcare and I want to be one of the leaders in healthcare?
My journey in healthcare really came from the personal experience that I had with my mom. I'm the oldest of 5 children, grew up, born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. But my mom was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of head and neck cancer when I was 12 years old. And being the oldest of 5, you kind of just go into that mode of taking care of everyone. And as I, grew up and watched my mom be sick for many, many years, there were just different transitions during her treatment and her care where I really felt a strong connection to being a nurse. And that's really what drove me to go into nursing school. I loved it. I loved how you got to connect with people and help them through some of the most difficult and challenging times. And as I went through, I knew that I also liked to work with children. And I had so many opportunities in nursing school and right after I graduated to be able to go right into pediatric oncology. So I took that cancer experience that I had personally and translated it into being a peds oncology nurse. And it's really just been truly a rewarding career that I just treasure.
How long have you been with Broward Health now?
I have been here just about 16 years. So I started here in peds hematology oncology in the outpatient infusion center as a registered nurse. And really, I've done a variety of different roles since I've been here.
What were some of the major challenges during your journey to CEO of the medical center?
As I transitioned into various leadership positions here, I had so many opportunities to really have growth in all of those positions, but I was also a young leader. So I think as I transitioned and became a little bit more comfortable with my leadership style, really working with others and connecting with them, I think it evolved a little bit better. The one thing I will say, as I was also excelling in my career, I was also starting a family. So I think there's a lot of pressure that we always have to have these two kind of components that are perfectly balanced, meaning home and work life. And I think I struggled with that earlier on in my career. But as I learned that you really could have those buckets not always be equal, it really helped me to be a better mom and to be a better leader and healthcare executive.
Who were your mentors or the people that kind of pushed you, or you looked at and said, I want to be like that person?
I remember my first mentor was one of my instructors, who was an oncology nurse by background when I was in nursing school, and she really pushed me to go into pediatric oncology and pursue that dream that I wanted to do. And then as I became a new nurse and worked in South Florida at a children's hospital, the chief nursing officer there was just someone that I always had admiration for. I loved the way that she really facilitated nursing practice. She connected with staff on all levels and really promoted nursing excellence. And then as I transitioned into more leadership roles, and moved away from really the bedside, I had a variety of leaders, directors that were here, administrators that were here, that really helped challenge me and help me really become the best leader I could be.
Everyone has had some different moments during the past year, operating through and hopefully coming out of what I would call the first phase of COVID. What have you learned through this, and what can you apply to the future on being able to carry over some things learned, or staff-wise, or using equipment, or whatever, to be able to make the medical center a better place?
Innovation, technology, and teamwork would be the three kind of common themes that come to my mind when I think about this last 16 months. We really, as a health system, will have to continue to drive our technology integration and care delivery in different ways. Really, the traditional way of just having patients come to the hospital or come to the doctor's office really isn't going to be the way of the future. And we saw during the pandemic just really how essential technology and technology integration and care delivery was. And I think that's going to be a huge driver for us. And we're going to find more innovative ways to deliver care where patients are.
What is your day? What does your typical day look like? How does it start? How does it end?
So I start every day very early. I get up at 4:45 every day because I have to get my workout in before I get to the hospital. But traditionally, I'll go do my exercise. As soon as I get to the hospital, I do participate in what we have as our daily safety huddle. That really helps bring all the leaders together, just to coordinate the activities for the day, really look at where do we have patients holding, how many surgeries are we going to be doing, how many beds are we going to need, was there any significant safety issues that happened in the last 24 hours, what are we doing to address them, and then who do we need to recognize for that day. That kind of helps me understand when I'm going to go out and do my rounding on the employees and some of the patients and families. It kind of helps me identify where I need to prioritize that day. The rest of my day is spent oftentimes outside the hospital, doing things in the community, going to visit physicians. And then there's other days where I may just have a lot of back-to-back meetings, meeting with our providers, meeting with different employees, et cetera. So every day is a little bit different, but I do start my day the same, just because that really helps us come together and make sure we're all on the same page with a plan so we can deliver the best care to our patients.
If there was one piece of advice that you would give to somebody entering, and I mean entering the healthcare, could be from a high school, could be from college, could be through a master's program, could even be through a doctorate program. But what piece of advice would you give them about being part of the healthcare system?
There's something for everyone in healthcare. And I think it's one of those careers that's going to continue to have different avenues to accelerate. And I think you have to really always take on different opportunities that are outside your comfort zone. But really, the sky's the limit in terms of healthcare. There's something for everyone when you think of a healthcare career.
And finally, what keeps you up at night relating to your job, Broward General? What kind of keeps you up at night?
I just always, want to know that the patients that are coming to our facility are getting the highest level quality of care and safety. When we can't live up to that, those are the things that keep me up at night. I just always need to know that everyone has taken care of in the best way possible.
That's wonderful. Heather, thank you for taking the time out of your busy day today and supporting South Florida Hospital News and Healthcare Report. and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.